Kerouac. Yeah. Kerouac. His words. The words. So many words, just all brothers of the same horn, sisters of the saxophone. Notes, music, words, a melody, a quote, a figure eight, figure. If you listen close to the drummer, it's like a mirror, and you're invisible. Like you're in a back seat, with no handles on the doors, just a beautiful driver up front. She knows where she's going. The observation machine, caressing the most passing of scenes with photographic love, a passionate, photographic love, vulnerable as any window. His memories pull shades up and down. Doors are knocked on, telegrams arrive. Every morning something extra vivid, remembering everything. Like a snatch of melody, a drum beat, remembering, mythologizing. So fast all the time, moving. The drumsticks, pounding out drum beats, like a monk melody, with mistakes, mistakes and sudden inspirations, edges, corners, explosions, convections, all fast through a slow motion landscape. Yeah, fast through a slow motion landscape.
The story of man makes me sick. Inside, outside, I don't know why. Something so conditional. And all talk should hurt me so. I am hurt. I am scared. I want to live. I want to die. I don't know where to turn in the void and when to cut out. For no church told me. No guru holds me. No advice. Just stone of New York. And on the cafeteria, we hear the saxophone of Dead Ruby, died a shot in 32, sounding like old times and bombed, empty, decapitated murder by the clock. And I see shadows dancing into doom, in love, holding tight the lovely asses of the little girls, in love with sex, showing themselves in white undergarments at elevated windows, hoping for the worst. I can't take it anymore. If I can't hold my little behind to me in my room, then it's goodbye. Sing sorrow for me. Besides, girls aren't as good as they look. And samadhi is better than you think. When it starts in hitting your head and with buzz of glitter gold, heaven's angels wailing, saying, "We've been waiting for you since morning, Jack. Why were you so long dallying in the city room? This transcendental brilliance is the better part of nothingness, I sing. Okay? Quit. Mad. Stop."
Many people have been frighted and died in cemeteries since the days of my gang. The night Ninip Hood came up and talked to me on the block, and I rode the imaginary horse on the row of the porch rail. where I killed 700,000 flies or more, while Ma and Beatrice gossiped in the kitchen, and while drape sheets we airing on the line that's connected to midnight by midnight riding roses. Oi, the one bad time that Zago got home from school late, dark in the streets, the Sisters Majestico blooming in the alley retreat, beat. Your gang is upstairs, says my mother. And I go up to my closed smoky door and open it to a miniature pool hall, where all the gang is smoking and yakking, little cue sticks and blue chalk around a miniature table on stilts. Bets being made, spittings out the window, cold out there, old murder magoon. The winter man in my tree has seen to it that in a later autumn prestigitate on time, and in ripe form, to it cold. To it cold, to it you, to it winter, to it time, to it bird, to it dust. That was some game old Salvi blamed when he beat GJ that time, and Rondo roared. Rondo was the cookie that was always in my hair, a ripe, screaming type brother with heinous, helling neck veins who liked to riddle my phantasms with yaks of mock squeak joy. Why don't you like young Rondo? Always I'm asked. Because he boasts and boasts, brags, yeah, because he's crazy, because he's mad, and because he never gives us a chance to talk. All right, I'd like to know what Bobby's got against me, but he won't tell, and it's brother deep. In the room they're shooting the break, clack, the little balls break, scattered to mania. They take aim on little balls and break them up to fall, in plicky pockets for little children's names, drawing pictures in the games, and the whistle of the old Kerouac tree splashing in the mighty Moo, Missouri, lame image of time and again the bride and groom, boom and again the bridal bood, oo toot too and rumble a mumble thunder, bow Salvi is in my alley. Old Salvi's my alley, and I'll lay it on me. I'll shoot 14 farthings for Father McCree, and if old Hottentots don't footsie, down here bring my gruel. I'll be cruel, I'll be cruel.
Us kids swim off a gray pier, dive off. I go down the street after emptying my pockets of old roaches and think, I better go through all my stuff. I live in the 40-year cellar in a dismal, damp room furnished like a vampire's castle. People visit me. I go to Jerry Richmond and Bill Wolf's business store, and they're having a big argument about something they're fixing or trying to sell. We cut and measure it out. Some nameless huge taffy. We taste it. Then there's a marvelous rack of delicate chocolates and flavors from all over the world, and ground cinnamon nuts and coffee fruits. And they mix them all up in a big batter and bake, and coffee cake emerges, which is the most delicious thing in the world. That's yesterday's unfresh cake, I say. Can I have it? They don't even comment. I'm to understand they only eat fresh baked coffee cake. Bill says if a nut dropped, I'll eat it. They're asking a lot for it. And he plops it in his mouth as Jerry does the mixing. I try a sweet, bitter chocolate piece shaped like a little stove from a box in the rack. The cake comes out square, streaked with colors like marble cake, suffused with exotic African and Brazilian flavors, crunchy with cocoa nuts and nutmeg nuts and crushed chunky nut. It's terrific. I hope they'll give me some. They hardly know I'm there.
All right. Any level? Okay, let's read this. Let us hope that the horrors of evil no longer loiter on the doorsteps of your path, beckoning you into the brothel of despair, and that hereinafter you may present them with the most rigid manifestations of a firm and manly will. Ad astra per aspera. Yeah, that's Jack's letter. Now I want to tell you, that's very brilliant. Jack was a great influence on me, but I want to put my poem to Jack. This is the ode to Jack Kerouac, who was, he remains one of my heroes. How about this? This is called, let's see, maybe Ode to Jack. Yeah, Ode to Jack. All right. 4 dogs went to the wilderness. Only 3 came back. 2 dogs died from guinea worm. The other died from you. Jack Kerouac. Well, Jack was not innocent. He ran over dogs. Just think of it, man. Never mind. Okay, well, that's enough for now, and thank you very much. And, yeah, well, Jack was an artist in every way. I admire the dog thing most of all. All right.
Than sitting skid row, drinking wine, to know that nothing matters after all, to know there's no real difference between the rich and the poor, to know that eternity is neither drunk nor sober, to know it young and be a poet. Nobody saw me, just my bottle, and what they saw if it was empty. Instead I squatted in lonesome alleys, and nobody saw me, just my bottle, and what they saw of it was empty. Noise, to know that the corn stalks talk among one another with raspy arms. Sitting in alleys, digging the neons, and watching cathedral custodians wring out their rags neath the church steps. Sunsets on railroad fields of grass. To know that the sleepers in the river are dreaming vain dreams, to squat
America's new Trinity of love. Dean Brando Presley, in parentheses now, written at instigation of the two Helens, Weaver and Elliott, 1957. Love is sweeping the country. While wars and riots rage all around the world in a vortex that resembles the dying dinosaur age of violence, here within her sweetest shores, America is producing a revolution of love. 3 young men of exceptional masculine beauty and compassion and sadness have been upraised by its reaching hands. This is strange, and it is good. Up to now, the American hero has always been on the defensive. He killed Indians and villains and beat up his rivals and surled. He's been good looking, but never compassionate, except at odd moments and only in stock situations. Now the new American hero, as represented by the Trinity of James Dean, Marlon Brando, and Elvis Presley, is the image of compassion in itself. And this makes him more beautiful than ever. It is as though Christ and Buddha were about to come again with masculine love for the woman at last. All gone are the barriers of asceticism and the barriers of ancient anti-womanism that go deep into primitive religion. It is a revolution of love, and it will become a religion of love. The Garden of Eden might come back in its pristine form. The old American hero fought the devil. The new American hero knows that the devil never existed, except in the minds of anxiety. Whew. There will be no more tempting of the woman by the devil and no banishment from the paradise on earth. It's got to be. A revolution of love is the positive answer. Banishment of war and the bomb is only a negative answer. And there have been revolutions of love before, accomplished always by some isolated individual like Casanova, Valentino, Sinatra. But now the intensity and the need is such that there are more than one. It's not a vain and self-centered thing, but it spreads. This is implicit in the James Dean movie, Rebel Without a Cause, where, when the hero and the girl sneak off to make love in the empty mansion, leaving the desperate boy alone, Salminio, and all the trouble takes place, Dean says, "We shouldn't have left them alone." And the girl says, "But I needed you." And Dean states, "But he needed you too." This is childlike and innocent. Suffer the little ones to come unto me. See, there is the need all around to be recognized and adored by some other human being. The need all around for kindness, for the ideal of love which does not exclude cruelty, but is all embracing, non-assertive, simply lovely. Not necessarily the Dionysian orgy, but the tender communion. As always, when something new grows out of the groaning earth, this earth which is a recent event in the cosmic eternity of light, there are angry complaints raised from all stations. The drier intellectuals complain that the adulation of the dead James Dean by thousands of American girls represents a kind of unhealthy necrophilia. They point out the fact that 1,000 fan letters a month are still being written directly to Dean as though he were still alive, asking for his pictures and asking him to come back because they love him. Even if you look bad and you're all cut up from your car crash, come back anyway. Yet if St. Teresa can make us the holy promise that she will come back and shower the earth with roses forever, this belief in the immortal lovingness of James Dean by thousands of eager believing chicks is well rooted in a reverential mystical tradition that has certainly never harmed the sleeping babe in his crib. It augurs well for the world that it will refuse to believe that in death endeth loveliness or endeth enlightenment. elegant complainers say Marlon Brando is ill-dressed, vain, self-centered, Kowalski, Terry Malloy, hoodlumish, irresponsible. They picture him as wandering away to leave his girl crying. Yet, what is it he has that make a girl say, I just feel that Marlon Brando would know how to love me better than any man in the world, that he would go skipping down the street with me hand in hand, that he would do anything and everything, that he would do anything I asked him and be kind. Because his soul is free, and that's why he's so beautiful. Brando is indeed a free soul. His individual approach to his work as well as to his way of life bespeak a strong faith in himself as a man and as an American.
On a sunny afternoon in Lower East Side, New York, just like the real one I've been digging this summer around Tompkins Square with Alan and Eileen, and not far from that Lucian reformatory sunny tenement ship, which finally I, in real life, saw docked at 27th and East River, the U.S. training house home old of the sea, with colonial superstructure, woods, and innumerable windows of eternity. Near these things, and at about 9 or 10th Street, near Avenue B, I went to see a doctor to be treated. He had an assistant with him. First at one office, then another on Avenue B itself. On 10th, he gave me a shot of penicillin and then prepared a syringe full of morphine. Don't give me too much of that, Doc. He pays no attention to me, but keeps talking to his assistant. I have a hunch about this case, meaning me. I'll give him so-and-so grains. But not too much, Doc. He feels a big load and says again, I got a feeling about this case. And I realize he means I've already raised my resistance against M with previous illegal shots, and he knows it by looking at me, at the case. The assistant acquiesces, and bam, he shoots me, but to my scoffy surprise, it's just a muscle bang, and therefore it won't harm me in quantity, and I don't say nothing.
Written in Jim Hudson's window looking out on MacDougal Street, summer of 1954, when he left me his old apartment, went away with his girl someplace. Parading among images, looking, and everybody's turning around and pointing. Nobody looks up and in or listens to Tomandandy's unceasing compassion. No sound stills. Sea blue moon, holy ex-Jack miracle night. Instead, yank and yucker for bits and pops, look for crashes, pictures, squares, explosions, birth, death, legs. I know, sweet hero, enlightenment has come. Resting still. In the sun think not, take no more lines. Straw hat, hands a back glass, the examine and attain distinct one prints, reach perk and saw. Because the chess players won't end, still they sit, millions of hats and underwater foliage of marble games, the Greeks of chess plot the pot of make king and queen. I know their game, their elephant with a pillow with a pearl in it, their gory bishops and vital pawns, their devout frontline sacrificial pawn shops, their stately king, who is so tall, their virgin queen preening to knave the night knot, the Bhagavad Gitas of ignorance, Krishna's advice. Come on, the game begins. So though I am wise, I have to wait like any other fool. Let's forget the strollers. Forget the scene. Just close our eyes. Let me instruct thee. Here is dark milk. Here's a sweet Mahameru who coo to you too. As he did to me one night at 3, when we will plead out to see reality. And I said, wilt thou protect me forever? And he, in his throatless deep mother hole, replied, Om.
From unpublished poems by Jack Kerouac, The Brooklyn Bridge Blues. And I'll be reading 9 of 10 choruses, or most of 9 of 10 choruses. In the late afternoon, we couldn't find the 10th chorus. So there's still the mystery to come. How does it end? Chorus number 1 of The Brooklyn Bridge Blues. Winter, too cold to write on the bolts of the beams in the steel bridge. High, overlooking whole auroras of Sangsara sun dusk, down by the statue of liberals, holding soon-to-be lighted torch to the dim, dank Atlantic famous sky, where Greek ships plow through sullen waves of iron, bringing tons of rusty junk to be pressed in bales and left on waterfronts of splinter. I would I were a wave and had vanished now, than ball and bolt with pencils in screaming rooms here on earth, so full, stupid, blind. Second and third choruses. That's an intro. And that's horseshit verse. Let me tell you the truth of the world at last. I started in Brooklyn and went over the span, and at the middle hump I looked and thought, my mother had just told a fib, and in the process made me a liar in my stepsister's eyes. I looked my mother dead in the face, and her eyes were hard to find and almost hidden behind those glasses and all that insecurity, necessitous grime that had accumulated there in the form of Sangsara's sorry flesh. To prove to her sister, aunt, whatever Lorette is, that all the times it's she who sends me money, she denied that last summer for no reason at all, except I wanted her to be happier in moneyless Rocky Mount, and I had a temporary surplus from the $300 American Academy Prize. I sent her a $50 money order. Denied it, fibbed, didn't even wink. My own mother. Wow, the work of Sangsara, this false world. And the Lord says it in the Diamond Sutra, keep the precepts. Don't be insincere. It's one of the paramitas. It's one of the 4 precepts. Ah, you Canucks, says Lucian. Your first fight with your mother and it's over money. Ach, true, wow. Chorus number 4. I looked at the red winter, disgusting dusk of the world, saw the alleys beyond Brooklyn, Wolf's red brick jungle that I'd only last night walked onto Gowanus Canal. Ooh, and I remembered the dreams about Rax and Joan Adams and Dreer, and a tear appeared in my eye over the river on the Bridge of Sighs, that as soon as I'd crossed it, had taken me to the shore I was looking for. Svaha, I am the perfect man, the Buddha of this world. Chorus number 5. I looked up at the blue, deep, perfect, and asked Buddha Lord to perfect me and said, what are the requisites? And he said, you are perfect already. Sullen, ugly Wall Street buildings, so silly and stupid, the blind woe world, all things endlessly living and dying in ignorance. And I thought, whether as impalpable powder or as great cities visible from bridges in these great universes, what matters it? It is only in the sense of cosmic unity that the Tathagata can rightly refer to it. Chorus number 6. World without end, ethereal flower, and the streets of time and rhyme without rhyme or dime, all crime, in the blue, sad belows of Manhattan, and old, dirty, black and orange ships with dirty white superstructures and wharves of rusty junk and barges, and I felt exuberant. I felt I was the only perfect man in the world. My virtue 100%. My only sin is lust. I like girls. I have no self. I have a Buddha not self. Choruses 7 and 8. Suddenly, looking at the high city hall towers with stone nymphs atop, I realized I was going to save the world. I sang and marched, "This is the other shore that we were looking for." And I am the perfect man, the Buddha of this world. Already perfect. I forgot the details. Ruined dead buildings with signs reading varnishing, already vanishing. Ugh, glug. I wanted to call my mother on the phone and say, I didn't say I was going. I've crossed the river now. I'm over the bridge now. I'm on the other shore now. I've reached the other side. The little glicks and dibbles of returning human humorisms I may allow. It's mountaintop for me. I'm a glutton. I like food. I'm irritable when I'm hungry. I like a good supper. I like sex. Conquer lust and Buddha will arise in me. Chorus 9. And now that I've achieved superhuman perfection of compassion and knowledge, naturally I've lost human talents of writing. Temporarily. Nowhere to go. All's been done. I can only tell you what God would tell you. Dry your tears. Dry up your sins, me.
When you showed me Brooklyn Bridge in the morning, God and the people slipping on ice in the street twice. Two different people came over, going to work, so earnest and trifle, clutching their pitiful morning daily news. Slip on the ice and fall. Both inside 5 minutes. And I cried. That's when you taught me. Tears. God in the morning. Thee. And me leaning on the lamppost, wiping eyes. Eyes nobody's know. I'd cried. Or would have cared. Anyway. But I saw my father and my grandfather's mother and the long lines of chairs and tear sitters and dead. Me, I knew God, you had better plans than that. So whatever plan you have for me, splitter of majesty, make it short, brief, make it snappy. Bring me home to the eternal mother. Today. At your service. Anyway. And until
old Western movies. A judge in the West coming from the South with ruby sideburns, boy. always using flowery language. The grim fighting hero's troubles are always private. He wants to know where I fit in her dreams. Sometimes you see villains so ancient, you saw them in infancy, exaggerating in snow. Their mustaches looking older than your father's grave. Thanks, Marshal. I reckon. I guess I better run on back to Whiskey Row, Colorado, and marry an old Tim McCoy gal, or turn off the television one. Gotta go a long way in the West to find a good man, so close the book. The Courier, run by Steve, is a paper wearing a sunbonnet. Drive the cattle through that silver wall. Tell ladies to their hearse. Out in the sun. That ought to do till Mexican dry gulcher finds Red Wing in the shack and Quackty-Oodles menstruate. Old horses' necks by broken fences. Guns gone rust. I guess the gang got shot. Kid dream hid in the leaves. April 1958, Northport.
Silly Goofball Poems by Jack Kerouac. The moose is a noble dolt. The elk is a fool. The rhinoceros is the biggest bore of them all. The hippopotamus is a giant river pig. The hyena is a striped dog who thought he was a laughing horse. The lion is a queer cat who by the power of his queerness became a great jowled cat. The tiger is pure cat. The panther hates cats. The cheetah is a dog who thought he was a fast cat. The giraffe is a horse who grew fond of treetop leaves. The snake has a body beautiful, and the elephant is the lord, the hook and curl of his trunk, the long lashed eye. The sloth is a Chinese poet upside down. The anteater is a long-nosed investigator of villages. The scorpion is a sea spider trapped on land. The whale is more so. The man is very strange. The spider monkey is a little fool. The Pekingese doll is a dog. The dachshund is a snake full of love. The Siamese cat is an angry monkey. The woman is a cellular mesh of lies, as well as a scratcher. The woman has a dark blossom between her thighs. The Buddha is known. The Messiah is unborn. The boll weevil is a pants rotter. The ant a warrior. The worm is a long history oozing out of who? Who? Woo! Woo! The dog is a god. The dog is a balker. The leopard is incontinent, said Dante, free from the severity of leopard. The angel rules the jungle. Blake is Blake. The cow has its own way with water, and the tick sticks in your hair and swells. The shark I never saw. The purple-ass baboon is insane. The sparrow is a little gray bird. The chimpanzee is wise. The American a sniper. The gull a bringer of snail shells. The parrot I love. The snail knows the unborn void of Tao, and that's why he left his house for gull. This seabird is all belly. Crows are dawn singers. The bee hums busily. The frog leaped out of water. The abominable snowman is not abominable at all. He doesn't hurt anybody. The rat has many theories. The spider means money. The fly has 7 million brothers. The seal is on my roof. The goose goes north. The robin wins the spring. The caterpillar waits. The nightingale I have been. The mockingbird loves TV aerials. The rabbit. The vulture trails the puma. The wolf snaps the bear. The lizard, the eel, the octopus, the tapeworm, the finger, the cock, the germ, the fingernail, the wall. The swordfish has a beak of wood. The lobster is friendly. The flea leaps. The cockroach is reverenced. The bedbug rolls. The end.
The moon, her magic bee, big sad face of infinity. An illuminated clay ball manifesting many gentlemanly remarks. She kicks a star. Clouds foregather in scimitar shape to round her cradle out. Upside down, any old time. You can also let the moon fool you with imaginary orange balls of blazing imaginary light in fright. As eyeballs, hurt and foregathered, wink to the wince of the seeing of a little sprightly ote, which projects spikes of light out the round, smooth blue balloon ball, full of mountains and moons. Deep as the ocean, high as the moon, low as the lowliest river lagoon. Fish in the tar, pull in the spar. Billy Dibud and Hanshan Emperor, and all wall moon gazers since Daniel McCree, Yeats, sea, gaze at the moon, ocean, marking the face. In some cases, the moon is you. In any case, the moon.
Mad road, driving men ahead. The mad road, lonely, leading around the bend into the openings of space towards the horizon. Wasatch snow has promised us in the vision of the west. Spine heights at the world's end, coast of blue Pacific starry night. No bone half banana moon sloping in the tangled night sky. The torments of great formations and mist. The huddled invisible insect in the car racing onwards. Illuminate. The raw cut, the drag, the butte, the star, the draw, the sunflower in the grass. Orange buted westlands of Arcadia, forlorn sands of the isolate earth, dewy exposures to infinity and black space, home of the rattlesnake and the gopher. The level of the world low and flat, the charging, restless, mute, unvoiced road keening in a seizure of tarpaulin power into the route. Fabulous plots of landowners in green unexpecteds, ditches by the side of the road. As I look from here to Elko along the level of this pin parallel to telephone poles, I can see a bug playing in the hot sun. Swash. Hitch yourself a ride beyond the fastest freight train. Beat the smoke, find the thighs, spin the shiny, throw the shroud. Kiss the morning star in the morning glass. Madroad driving men ahead. Pencil traceries of our faintest wish in the travel of the horizon merge. Nosy cloud upfusks in a drabble of speechless distance. The black sheep clouds cling a parallel above the steams of the CBQ. Serried little Missouri rocks haunt the Badlands. Harsh, dry brown fields roll in the moonlight with a shiny cow's ass. Telephone poles, toothpick time, cutting immensity. The crazed voyager of the lone automobile presses forth his eager insignificance in nose plates and licenses into the vast promise of life. The choice of tragic wives, moons. Drain your basins in old Ohio and the Indian and the Illini plains. Bring your big muddy rivers through Kansas and the mudlands. Yellowstone and the frozen north. Punch lake holes in Florida and LA. Raise your cities in the White Plains. Cast your mountains up. Bedaws the west. Bedight the west with brave hedgerow cliffs rising to Promethean heights and fame. Plant your prisons in the basins of the Utah moon. Nudge Canadian groping lands that end in Arctic bays. Burl your Mexican ribneck, America. We're going home. Going home.
Have you ever seen anyone like Cody Pomeray? Say on a street corner on a winter night in Chicago, or better, Fargo, any mighty cold town, a young guy with a bony face that looks like it's been pressed against iron bars to get that dogged, rocky look of suffering perseverance. Finally, when you look closest, happy, prim self-belief with western sideburns and a big, blue, flirtatious eyes of an old maid and fluttering lashes, the small and muscular kind of fellow wearing usually a leather jacket, and if it's a suit, is with a vest so he can prop his thick, busy thumbs in place and smile the smile of his grandfathers, who walks as fast as he can go on the balls of his feet, talking excitedly and gesticulating. Poor, pitiful kid, actually just out of reform school with no money, no mother, and if you saw him dead on the sidewalk with a cop standing over him, he'd walk on in a hurry in silence. Oh, life, who is that? There are some young men you look at who seem completely safe, maybe just because of a Scandinavian ski sweater, angelic, saved. On a Cody Pomeray, it immediately becomes a dirty, stolen sweater worn in wild sweats. Something about his tigerish, out-jutted raw face bone could be given a woe-down melancholy if only he wore a drooping mustache. A famous bop drummer who looked just like Cody at this time wore such a mustache, and probably for those reasons. It is a face that's so suspicious, so energetically upward-looking, like people in passport or police lineup photos, so rigidly itself, looking like it's about to do something unspeakably enthusiastic. In fact, so much the opposite of the rosy Coke-drinking boy in the Scandinavian ski sweater ad. Then in front of a brick wall where it says, "Post no bills," and it's too dirty for a Rosie Boy ad, you can imagine Cody standing there in the raw, gray flesh, manacled between sheriffs and assistant DAs. And you wouldn't have to ask yourself who is the culprit and who is the law. He looked like that, and God bless him, he looked like that Hollywood stuntman who is fist-fighting in place of the hero and has such a remote, furious, anonymous viciousness, one of the loneliest things in the world to see, and we've all seen it 1,000 times in 1,000 B movies, that everybody begins to be suspicious because they know the hero wouldn't act like that in real unreality. If you've been a boy and played on dumps, you've seen Cody all crazy, excited, and full of glee-mad powers, giggling with the pimply girls and back offenders and weeds till some vocational school swallows his ragged blisses, and that strange American iron, which later is used to mold the suffering man-face, is now employed to straighten and quell the long, wavering, spermy disorderliness of the boy. Nevertheless, the face of a great hero, a face to remind you that the infant springs from the great Assyrian bush of a man, not from an ear, an eye, or a forehead. The face of a Simon Bolivar, Robert E. Lee, young Whitman, young Melville, a statue in the park, rough and free.
And then suddenly I'm standing by the side of the road at Santa Barbara, cursing the motorists of America who really are not giving rides anymore, about to give up, but standing just about where I can see the hind end of the yard tracks, where if they make up a Frisco-bound freight train, I'll see the bloody caboose tagged on. Cursing, angry, supposedly I guess, or something blackly handsome in like an Allen Ladd, this gun for hire with murder, anger. Screech! Stops this brand new 1955 Mercury Montclair persimmon color brand new paint Simonized job with blonde, beautiful blonde in strapless white bathing suit at wheel and wearing little thin gold bracelet at sweet anklet. I run, jump in, she yawns, keeps yawning, wants to know if I can drive. Yes, I can drive. I'm bloody well afraid to look at her, the curl of her milk armpits, the flesh of her cream legs. The cream, legs, curls, love, milk, wow, did I love that, not looking but giggling. Hearing she has been driving all the way from Fort Worth, Texas without sleep, I say, "Oh, how would you like some Mexican Benzedrine, which I have in big battered pack that I've been sleeping on beach in cold night of sea fog coast with?" "Crazy," she yells. I whip out my Benzedrine, yanking out all my dirty underwear and unspeakable Mexican raggedy junks and give her. She takes two, very much. We stop at Coke Station and she mumps out jumping. The sweetest little perfect everything, you know. We swallow bennies. By the time we've raced 100 miles an hour and once maybe 110 to Santa Ana in the Guadalupe Valley, she's high, I'm high, we're talking and loving, talking, driving and sweating, and I can smell her sweet sweat and my own too. And we move on up to the San Luis Obispo bump in the impossibly beautiful California dry blue sky sundowns, and she calls her daddy in San Fran to cable her money she can pick up in Salinas.
Dr. Sachs, the master knower of Easter, was now reduced to penury, and looking at stained glass windows in old churches. His only two last friends in this life, this impossibly hard life, no matter under what conditions it appears, were Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, who visited him annually in his room on 3rd Street and cut through the fogs of evening with their heads bent as the bells of St. Simon tolled a heartbroken Kathleen across the rooftops of old hotels, where similar old men like Dr. Sachs sat bent-headed on beds of woe, with prayer beads between their feet. Oh, moaning, homes for lost pigeons or time's immemorial white dove. Of the roses, of the unborn, astonished bliss. And there they'd sit, in the little room, Sachs on the edge of the bed with a bottle of Rotgut Tokay in his hand, Bella in the old rocking chair, Boris standing by the sink, and sigh. And then Sachs would always say, "Please play the monster for me." And of course the old actors who loved him dearly and came to see him for human tender sentimentality, not monstrous reasons, protested, but he always got drunk and cried so that Boris first had to get up and extend his arms, do Frankenstein, go up. Then Bella would stand and arm, cape and leer, and approach Sachs, who squealed.
It's blue with pink movie neon, rechange in a jungle sky where rats have a chance to swarm. The mudslid builders, but who climbed? The builders that made it the high plateau. So on October full moon night, a poem has in the scene Aztec temple housing apartment arches stare with premeditated ongling glare. In light holes, in pool puddles, pool puddles.
This is based on a piece by Jack Kerouac called The Last Hotel. You might think differently after you hear it. I like to dedicate it to Steve Allen, that great beat composer. The Last Hotel. I can see the black wall. I can see the silhouette. On the window, he's talking. At a rhythm, he's talking. At a rhythm, I don't care. I'm not interested in what he's saying. Interested in the last hotel. I'm only interested in the fact that it's the last hotel, deep, discordant, dark, sweet. last hotel. Hotel, ghosts in my bed, the ghosts I bled, the last hotel.
Oh, I today, sad as Chu Yuan, stumbled to the store in broiling Florida October morning heat, cursing for my wine, sweating like rain, and came to my chair weak and trembling, wondering if I'm crazy at last. Oh, Chu Yuan, no, no suicide, wine, please, wine. What shall we all do, all knowing we're dying, without wine to guide us to winking at death and life too? My heart belongs to Chinese poets and their scrolls. We can't just die, men need wine, and poetry at least. Oh, Mao, poet Mao, not boss Mao. Here in America, wine is laughed at and poetry a joke. Death's a grim reminder to everybody already dead, crashing in cars all around here. Here men and women dryly scowl at poets' sad attempts to make our lot a whole lot lesser. I, a poet, suffer even for bugs I find upside down dying in the grass. So I drink wine alone. I shudder to think how dead the astronauts are going to a dead moon of no wine. All our best men are laughed at in this nightmare land, but the newspapers preen in virtue. Throughout the world, the left and right, the east and west are both vicious. The happy old wine bibber is gone. I want him to reappear. For modern China preens in virtue too, for no better reason than America. Nobody has respect for the cat asleep, and I'm hopelessly inadequate in this poem. Nobody has respect for the self-centered, irresponsible wine invalid. Everybody wants to be strapped in a hopeless spacesuit where they can't move. I urge you, China, go back to Li Po and Dao Yuan Ming. What am I talking about? I don't know. I'm sick today. I didn't sleep all night. Walked stumbling in the field to get wine. Now I'm drinking it. I feel better and worse. I have something to say to Mao and the poets of China that won't come out. It's all about how America ignores poetry and wine, and so does China, and I'm a fool without a river, and a boat, and a flower suit, without a wine shop at dawn, without self-respect, without the truth. But I'm a better man than all of you. That's what I wanted to say.
woman is beautiful, but you have to swing and swing and swing and swing like a handkerchief in the wind. A woman is beautiful, but you have to swing and swing and swing like a handkerchief in the wind. Like a handkerchief in the wind.
And I am an unhappy stranger grouking in the streets of Mexico. My friends have died on me. My lovers disappeared. My whores banned. My bed rocked and heaved by earthquake. And no holy weed to get high by candlelight and dream. Only fumes of buses, dust storms, and maids peeking at me through a hole in a door, secretly drilled to watch masturbators fuck pillows. I am the gargoyle of Our Lady dreaming in space. Gray mist dreams. My face is pointed toward Napoleon. I have no form. My address book is full of RIPs. I have no value in the void. At home without honor, my only friend is an old fag without a typewriter, who, if he's my friend, I'll be buggered. I have some mayonnaise left, a whole unwanted bottle of oil, peasants washing my skylight, a nut clearing his throat in the bathroom next to mine 100 times a day, sharing my common ceiling. If I get drunk, I get thirsty. If I walk, my foot breaks down. If I smile, my mask's a farce. If I cry, I'm just a child. If I remember, I'm a liar. If I write, the writing's done. If I die, the dying's over. If I live, the dying's just begun. If I wait, the waiting's longer. If I go, the going's gone. If I sleep, the bliss is heavy. bliss is heavy on my lids. If I go to cheap movies, the bed bugs get me. Expensive movies I can't afford. If I do, nothing does.
Angel mine, be you fine, angel divine, angel milk, what's your ilk? Angel bill, angel cash, angel smash, angel hash. Angel mine, be you fine, angel divine, angel milk, what's your ilk? Angel bill, angel cash, angel smash, angel hash.
Looks like your foot is bleeding. Still shattered like a cardboard box is full of broken glass. Is it still persisting? Yes. Hello. Yes. Is it persisting? Hello.
Book of Dharmas, Brooklyn Bridge Blues concluded. I'm too sick and tired of this world to drink in it. If lustful gluttony is my only blemishing sin, maybe I ought to just starve to death. I am the writing Buddha. From these blues, we'll go to hymns. And that's all I can recall of Brooklyn Bridge tonight. John A. Roebling and Washington Roebling built it, and it hath cables, and it does one good to cross it every day. See my eerie wiseness? Good night, innocent children of this mortal song-sorrow world. You have to keep your mind empty, and tranquil, and pure, or the whole eternal light escapes you. Without the eternal light, you're only a yakking fool of rooms, beds, graves, and monuments. With it, you are like the silent mountains of snow, and more than I know. Jan 28, 1956. What is the date? 28.